think we do.
We'll let you sit down. All right, all set?
Yes.
All right, we will call the Monday, September 25th Board of Education meeting to order. It is 6:46. All those that are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is agenda item number 3, consent agenda.
Their staff, we appreciate that. New this year was a fireworks show that Blackhawk Fireworks put on, and one of our parents, Matt McElvey, who owns the company. He brought forward this idea earlier this summer of bringing fireworks to the homecoming game. So the high school administrative team worked with Matt to figure out what the cost was and what we could afford, and then they worked to get a sponsor to cover the cost for the event. Unfortunately, that sponsorship fell through, so it was $2,000 that they ended up having to cover out of their operating budget this year, that we'll be looking to have a sponsor for in the future so we can make it an annual event. Later in the gift reports, you'll see Matt McElvey's donation is included. So he helped make that a reasonable piece for our entire community, which we greatly appreciate Blackhawk Fireworks coming together for us. But overall, a great week across our district, and great turnout, and just all the events that we had, whether it was at the Thursday night pep rally and then the Power Puff game or the Friday night homecoming, and seeing full bleachers. And it was great to see the community and people lined up to watch our students and see not only a football game, but also the band perform in their brand new uniforms, dance team and uniforms, cheer team. Just some really great things, seeing a lot of our students do some things that they enjoy, which was great for the whole week. So, and then the items that I've listed here, congratulations to Grafton High School senior Jackson Heinley, who was named a National Merit Scholarship finalist. Also today, Mr. Manti found out that Jacob Dempsey will be a commended student, excuse me. So congratulations to both of these outstanding scholars. And then next week is School Board Appreciation Week. This is a week set aside to recognize school board members across the state. We are fortunate in Grafton to have board members that selflessly devote their knowledge, time, and talents as advocates for our students and community's future. So during next week, I would encourage community members and staff to take a minute, send an email or a note to our board members for all of their work leading our district. On behalf of our entire learning community, thank you to each of you for all of your work. Our leadership team took time a couple weeks ago to write notes at one of our meetings for you to be able to read, and expressing appreciation for the work that you do. And when we conclude this, we'd like to take a picture with you. We have an apple from Sweet Trio as a token of our appreciation for the work that you do. We're lucky to have you as board members, and we want to make sure we celebrate you next week. The couple last things. National Custodian Day is coming up. So on October 2nd, it's an opportunity for us to thank our custodians. And if you look back at that staff survey that we give at the end of the year, our custodians have extremely high, almost 100% positive feedback from our staff members. So they do a great job. They create a clean and safe environment for student learning, operate behind the scenes, are often underappreciated for their hard work. They really contribute to that important first impression that families have when they come to our buildings or to our district. We want to thank them for their efforts. So on Monday, October 2nd, we're providing lunch for each of them as a thank you for their work. And then National School Lunch is October 9th through the 13th. And we are fortunate to have Lori McGregor and her team with Chartwells. They do a great job providing our students with healthy breakfast and lunch options across our district. And we'll be thanking them for their work during the week of October 9th through 13th. So before we have our next board meeting, that's an important week that will be coming up. We'll be thanking them for their work. And the final piece that I have is a busing update that I've asked Topher, who leads that for us. This is an issue that districts across the state are dealing with, across the nation are dealing with, and we're not immune from that. If you pick up the paper, you'll see different various articles that are being written from various districts. So I wanted to give the board an update on what we're doing now, what's in the process, and how things are going overall.
Yeah, as you're aware, we've had some parents bring issues forward to us, in particular about the PM busing and getting their students home. So thought we'd bring some data as to what we've seen throughout the course of the year. So we've had 4 weeks under our belt. One of the things you'll see here, as well as at Woodview, is those times, right? You've got first bus arrival, the first, when the first bus of their group arrives. That time, of course, is getting better and better. Obviously starting out 18 minutes after the school day ends. Now it's about 6 minutes after the school day ends. Getting that first bus off, the last bus arriving when the last bus is dismissed. You're seeing those times, and this is pretty typical, especially that first week. That first week is typically a really big challenge, and the times are not great, but they get better, right? So what we're seeing is, and again, you'll see it with Woodview as well, is that first bus arrival and first bus dismissal, that 13 or so minutes that you have in between there are impacted by the fact that there is a shuttle bus that once the 612 routes are run, they all go run to the elementaries. One of them or two of them, I should say, one that would go to Woodview and one that would go to Kennedy, has to hit the private schools and do a shuttle to take them to Woodview or Kennedy so they get on their bus that takes them home. So as you can imagine, that first bus that becomes available, that starts that shuttle, that takes some time. Meanwhile, the second and third bus that are done with their route, they're showing up at the elementary buildings. They do have to wait, obviously, till the shuttle arrives so that they can get their kids from the shuttle and then head off to home. That's why you'll see something more to the effect of 13 minutes between the first bus arriving and when it leaves, compared to when that last bus arrives and when it leaves, 4 or 5 minutes, right? And you'll see the same thing at Woodview. The improvement as we've worked through week 1 to week 4, and then you'll see those arrival times and that first bus dismissal piece seeming to take longer than that last bus piece. That's because when that last bus is arriving, it may already have the kids on it, and it's essentially the kids are waiting to get right on, and it can leave. It doesn't have to wait for any one of the shuttles to come by. You'll also notice between the two, Kennedy tends to be about 5 or 6 minutes later than Woodview. That's a this year thing. In other years, it's been the other way. And so this is just the way the kids have broken out in terms of when those buses are arriving at Woodview for PM pickup. So obviously the route times or those last buses and when they're arriving are later than what we'd like. Reason for that, some more data, is just how many routes we have. If you look back 3 years ago, particularly at the PM routes, you had 10 routes and then 12 routes, or I should say 10 middle high school routes, then 12 routes at the elementary level, right? Now we have 9 and 9. We have more kids in our district right now than we had 2 years ago. The reason we have fewer routes is because there aren't enough drivers. There's a driver shortage. Gets talked about anytime I go to one of my meetings with my counterparts from other districts. They're challenged by the same issue. And so if we could have more drivers, like in prior years when there were enough drivers to go around, we'd like that. If we did have that, you'd have more drivers on the 612 route, which would, in theory, shorten those routes somewhat, which would get them to the elementaries earlier. In addition, when we look at those route times at the elementary, they're higher than what we want. If we had more routes, split the kids up, those route times, those maximum times, become shorter. But those drivers aren't out there right now. I even put in the asterisk there that back in 2021, office staff worked in the office, and they would drive a bus if a driver called in sick, if they were short drivers that day for whatever reason. Right now, their office staff are actually running those routes. We have those 8 or 9 routes because they're out driving. So when someone doesn't show up, when they're short, they don't have a backup like they have in years past, and that's why we're getting canceled routes. So I also have the fact that on 3 days, we did have canceled routes And that, obviously not something we want either, because then parents are having to figure out how to get their kids either to school or home. So wanted to bring that forward. This is a problem, particularly in southeast Wisconsin. When we get together, this is pretty universal across districts, no matter what bus company they're using. Only ones that don't have this issue that I know of, Shorewood and Whitefish Bay, they don't provide student transportation to school. So they get to sit at that meeting and look at us fret and be glad they don't have this issue. But thought I'd bring this data to you. Have talked with Right Way. They are going to be putting together a campaign to try and recruit more drivers. They're going to cooperate with us. We'll cooperate with them to try and get that out with social media, in our newsletters, to try and promote getting more people to drive buses. Any questions on that?
So there would be, certain other districts are also looking for more routes and more drivers and those.
Correct,
So
right? Yeah.
even if they were to get initially some additional resources, there's still a ways to go before we can actually probably get additional routes.
Correct. They'd probably then have their office staff who are supposed to be working in the office actually do that. Then you have the backup and you don't have the canceled routes. That's the first thing that would go away. And then it's a lot easier to call Right Way or to get service or for them to do their job when they're supposed to do it. So yes, they start to hire some people. That's not going to mean suddenly we have more routes, because they have to fill the routes that don't have an actual bus driver driving it.
And then the cancellation of routes, is that communication coming directly from Right Way to our parents or through us to the parents?
It is. So when that messaging goes out, that's a message that Right Way sends out using the messaging app.
And then how is the app working? I know we had some challenges last year.
The bus app, there's one bus that's new in terms of the tracking app, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's one bus that's new that doesn't have the equipment installed yet, so that isn't working until they get the equipment installed. The beginning of the year, there seemed to be some challenges. We'll have to go back and take another good look at it. You have to look at it live to see if it's operational. It's not like seeing when the buses come where you could just go back and review camera footage. But there haven't been the number of complaints from parents in the last couple of weeks that there were in the first couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you for the update. Anybody else, any comments or questions for Jeff Topher? I guess I'd just like to echo too about the homecoming week. I mean, not only the GHS staff, but it was great to see at the parade, Kennedy and Woodview and staff and the amount of kids that are there to hopefully one day be Blackhawks was pretty exciting to see. So thank you to the whole district for making it a community event. So thank you. All right. Thank you for the superintendent's report. Next up, we will have public comment. No emails that I had to send out. So this is the portion, if there's anyone that would like to speak, please let us know. Perfect. Whoever would like to go first.
Good evening, Renee Riddle with the Grafton Education Foundation. Good to see everyone back. Congratulations on an outstanding annual report that was just outlined. And also we just wanted to say, we agree, there was a lot of awesome energy that was in the community last week. Anyone who participated in any of those homecoming events, there's just a newness and energy, a freshness, and there's a lot to be proud of here in Grafton. So congratulations to everyone who has a role in that. So just a reminder, Grafton Education Foundation, we always like to put it out there. Who are we? We raise private money for all the private public schools in Grafton, all grade levels. And what happens with that money? Well, every year we invite district staff to apply for grants. Last year, that meant $65,000 that was returned in grants for a total of, since our inception, of $565,000 back to the district in 97 grants. So our big milestone this year is going to be grant number 100. We'll look forward to seeing what that is. And so where does the money come from? Comes from our various events. We just had one last Sunday, Portraits in the Park. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. We really like doing it the Sunday of homecoming weekend, so we may make that a tradition. Lots of Grafton families in Lime Kiln Park, visual image photography, great partner for us, and we got a lot of fabulous memories captured there. This week or next, the Grafton community, make sure you're looking for those lime green envelopes. They will be arriving in your mailbox. That is our annual direct mail campaign, Seeds to Harvest. So that is in the process of being mailed, and that's a significant way of us raising funds. And then in the spring, we will again have our Night of Giving, and that is an adult fundraising event. And then, of course, our year-end Color Blast, which is the fun run, a really great way to celebrate a good year. And we also are proud to sponsor the Golden Apple Award, where we invite the community to nominate various teachers and staff for special recognition and some additional funds that they can do with as they please. So that's what the Grafton Education Foundation is. We always like to say we're always welcoming new members. Come check us out. And we're here to serve you, so any needs that you have of us, you always have an open door. Reach out and continue the great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Megan Clays. I am a Grafton grad and have chosen to raise my family here in Grafton too. It has been really impressive to see our district-wide test scores and overall school report card being so highly rated. Unfortunately, I'm here tonight to bring awareness to a population of students in Grafton who are underserved. We have a large population of students with special needs, and several of whom have significant disabilities and comprehensive needs. The schools in Grafton are doing a great job providing extended learning opportunities for gifted students. However, I've been in touch with parents of students with more comprehensive needs, and we feel like our kids are an afterthought. There are at least 5 kids at Woodview who have mobility challenges. Accessibility is not something that I can say exists across all of our facilities. For example, none of the playgrounds have wheelchair accessible features, and they all have wood or rubber chips underneath them. At Woodview, there are not accessible door switches on any of the playground doors, which means that the students who are in a wheelchair, who go out to the playground that they can't play on, also need an extra adult to help them get back into the building, or when going out to the playground, they need somebody else to help hold the door for them so that they can access those areas of the school. It is also important to note that the playground equipment itself at Woodview on the younger kids' side has pieces that are not functioning as intended, parts that are falling apart and rusting. This poses a safety risk, as some of the kids might get hurt trying to use faulty equipment, and there are oral sensory seeking kids, as well as early childhood and 4K students, who might be putting flaky pieces of rusty material in their mouths. Additionally, so much great work has been done to improve the baseball and softball fields, yet some of the paths to access them are gravel or just grass. Paving those paths would not only benefit the students directly, but also adults who come to support our student athletes. I believe that this is something that's being addressed, but I wanted to mention it anyway. The middle school currently does not have an accessible bathroom space for students who need assistance with toileting. I really hope this is a priority to be changed, as my son is dependent on a wheelchair and adult assistance for personal care needs, and he's in 4th grade. Another major concern for us is safety. There are not any fences around the property at Woodview and limited fencing at Kennedy, which means that students who can and do run from the school and playground, and they don't have any barriers to keep them from reaching the road or parking lot. The fact that there are students who have a tendency to run due to their disability also begs the question of staffing. Are there enough paraprofessionals to provide support for all of the students who need it? What is the district doing to make sure that there are competitive wages and benefits for these positions? Are the support staff being given training opportunities? Support staff is a crucial piece to the success of so many kids. There has been a lot of turnover of support staff district-wide, and it is concerning for parents of kids with special needs because consistency and familiarity is crucial to the success of our kids. There are many staff and parents who are doing an amazing job to fight for the needs of these marginalized students in order to provide them with their free, appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. The question that I have then is, why do we need to fight for access, not only to the education that is due them, but the facilities in general? The school district motto is every student, every day, but to many of us parents, we're sitting here asking, but what about our kids? We're here tonight to show you that we're committed to making sure that the great opportunities of Grafton schools are offered to all students. By the end of the week, I will send an email to the board and administration from a group of parents with these concerns, more details and ideas in order to begin a dialogue and show that we are willing to be and able to collaborate in order to elevate the district and make sure that it really is every student, every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak tonight? Okay. Seeing none, we will go to the next agenda item C, informational items from the September 11, 2023 Finance Committee meeting. So Topher, Jerry?
Take it. All right. Yeah, we covered a lot at that meeting, starting with the health insurance renewal. We had Dan from Horton present, as we're going to be switching carriers since Humana is leaving the employer-based insurance business. Current renewals are limited as there are fewer and fewer carriers that remain to provide quotes. We do have multiple quotes. Dan also presented or gave some examples of plan design changes that could potentially reduce the renewal increase and reduce the impact to the budget. We discussed self-insurance options, and the Finance Committee wanted Dan to gather more information on fully and self-insured options as we move towards securing health coverage for employees effective 1/1 of '24. Health coverage will be brought to the October Finance Committee and to the October board meeting for final approval. We also discussed the project management services. The owner's rep, owner's rep was discussed. Districts that are considering large construction projects will typically hire a consultant referred to as an owner's rep to kind of lean on their expertise in these projects and represent the district's interests. This is a newer field or role that wasn't really prevalent the last time we did a referendum in 2017 and worked through that construction project. Administration has met with numerous owners reps to discuss the district's potential need for additional space. Services could include assisting with design, construction, firm selection, contract review, review of change orders and budget, and confirming completion of the projects as designed. Again, the Finance Committee directed administration to request proposals for services to review and bring back to the October Finance Committee meeting. We also talked about the Enhancing Our Future Phase 3, where the district worked with a construction firm to get additional cost estimate for a couple different design options for Phase 3 project of the campaign. The Finance Committee considered various options for potentially funding each design of the soccer field or soccer concession stand and restroom. The Finance Committee directed administration to move forward with getting bids for completing the project using the reduced design or less expensive design, with the district adding funds to the current $175,000 made available through fundraising. Bid results and any approval for the project would need to come back to for review and ultimately approved by the full board. And lastly, the 23-24 budget and tax levy, the Finance Committee reviewed and discussed the information that was presented earlier at the annual meeting. That is it. Finance Committee.
Thank you for the update. It was a long meeting. Any questions for Jerry or Topher on any of the topics? I know the whole board was able to attend. And then just for clarification, the next finance committee meeting will be October 9th.
No, it will be October, it'll be the Monday after the 13th, so is it Monday the 16th?
The 16th.
As that final, I mentioned tonight during the annual meeting, the final October budget information from the state is released traditionally October 15th. This year it'll be Friday the 13th, oddly enough. So we can't review it on October 9th because it won't be released. So like every year, we have to pick a date after the 15th to meet and discuss that information.
Okay. All right, if there's no additional questions for the finance committee meeting, obviously we'll be meeting again to go through all of these topics on the 16th, as well as them coming to the board on the later in October. Agenda item D, personnel report.
Yes, we have a couple, hires that we'd ask for the board approvals for, and then as well as change in position, and then there's some informational pieces. So we would ask for board approval for Brian Mediger, physical education teacher at Woodview Elementary School, Michelle Norland, special education teacher at Woodview Elementary School, Tricia Radke, special education teacher, John Long Middle School, Karen Schneiberg, Title I interventionist at Woodview Elementary and John Long Middle School, and a change in position of Mary Carlton, Title I interventionist, 0.4 FTE to 0.5 FTE. And then informational only, we have two new hires of Mary Ann Stecker, special education aide at Kennedy Elementary School, and Faye Weinhold, the library aide at John Long Middle School, with the resignation of Trinette Dawson at special education aide at Woodview Elementary School.
Okay, any questions for Jeff? All right, so then Kara will take these in two. Okay. First, we'll do the new hires. So we'll be looking for a motion to approve Brian Mediger, physical education teacher at Woodview, Michelle Norland, special education teacher at Woodview, Tricia Radke, special education teacher, John Long, and Karen Scheinberg, Title I interventionist, Woodview, and John Long. Do we have a motion for those approval of hires?
I just want to make it correct. Yeah. Tricia Radke is a physical.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, physical education teacher, yes, thank you. All right, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any additional discussion? All right, all in favor of the new hires, say aye. Aye. Opposed, and that passes. And then just an approval for the change of position for Mary Carlton, Title I interventionist, from a 0.4 to a 0.5. Do we have a motion for approval of the change?
So moved.
Second.
First and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that passes as well. So where does that put us with staffing then with these, or we're all set with these now?
We do not have any openings. right now.
Zero openings anywhere in the district.
Okay. That is great news. Okay, thank you very much. Next, we will go to the item E, approval of strategic planning framework vision 2030.
Yes, at last month's board meeting, which I had to miss because of my dad's funeral in Seattle, the administration presented Vision 2030, so appreciate Topher and Michael team stepping in and presenting this for us. But this framework began back in 2019-20. If you remember, we'd started working with Mark Hansen back in 2019, and we were setting up, we'd had a district admin team meeting with him, and we were set up for March like 20th or something like that. I don't remember, maybe it was the 16th even. I think it was the 16th. And then unfortunately things got paused. So it's great that this year our theme is moving forward. And so the idea of moving forward, not looking back, moving forward, and bringing this whole strategic planning, Vision 2030 to the board, getting community input is something that we've been working on. We did share the 4 priorities areas that were developed are student engagement and growth, the exemplary culture, stakeholder engagement, fiscal stewardship. So those would be the priority areas that we'll be focusing on. And then we have key performance indicators that we reviewed annually to see how we're doing towards those 4 strategic indicators. We did ask for, at the board meeting, as well as we'd emailed previously to everyone that was on the committee asking for feedback. We had one person reach out with some questions that we were able satisfactorily answer, but otherwise have received no feedback or concerns or any positives. It's been very quiet. So I believe people are ready for us to move forward with these key performance indicators as well as the four framework pieces that we have, the priority areas that we have in place. So we're bringing this forward to the board similar to what we've done with policies, bringing forward as a first read and coming back the next month, people to give feedback and asking for board approval so we can start moving forward with the Vision 2030 for our district.
All right. Any last or final comments regarding the framework? I know we've all had a chance to be a part of the process. We've all had a chance to see this at the retreat. It was part of the welcome back to all the teachers as well, that they all received a copy of this, as well as last meeting. So any additional thoughts or comments? All right. With that, is there an approval to approve the Vision 2030 strategic planning framework as presented?
So moved.
Second. Any last discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes. And then this will be up onto the website.
Yep, we'll work on district communication to parents as well as staff with this.
Excellent. A lot of work to get to this point, so thank you very much.
Yep, very happy to be here.
Excellent. All right, agenda item F, annual seclusion and restraint report.
Good evening. Is this on? I'm here to answer any questions you have about our annual report around seclusion and restraint incidents. You can see that the number of seclusion and restraints this past school year are lower than years past. I do have a bar graph there for your reference, just so you can see how things have trended over time.
Any comments or questions for Amanda? This is just information only.
How many administration or teachers and staff are trained for this CPI training staff right now?
Yeah, annually, we do train staff that tend to be in incidents that may require seclusion and restraint, so that's special education teachers, paraprofessionals, school psychologists, administrators, and that's done on a 2-year rotating basis, so we'd have to pull up a list of currently trained staff, but we do a nice job of onboarding all new staff that are hired and then recertifying every 2 years the necessary staff. The law asks that we have one trained staff member in each building, and we've gone above and beyond that.
We can get a number for you. I can put that in an update, but it's a big number.
It's much beyond the minimum. Yes, it's a big number. We could get the current number, but it's quite a few staff. Mm-hmm.
Any additional questions? Okay, information only. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing the update. All right, agenda item G, Summer Learning Academy report.
The seniors last week kept summer going with their theme, so I'll keep the summer theme going by talking about our Summer Learning Academy. We have 3 sessions for Summer Learning Academy that kicks off in June, shortly after the start of the summer holiday. When you consider all 3 sessions, we had a banner year. The original numbers I sent to you were just sessions A and B, but this really was an exemplar year for us, that we saw more students getting academic courses with 350 academic courses taken. Previously, our highest number was 313. We offered the same amount of academic courses. It really hangs steady around 25, and that's based on our intervention and support numbers from the school year and students needing extra reading pushes from kindergarten through 5th, as well as our students in need credit recovery in the high school. So we had 350 courses taken from that academic standpoint. As you look at total courses taken, we hit our banner year of 4,707 total courses taken by 1,028 students. Again, highlighting that we're seeing more academic courses, and so we've talked about ways that we can engage more families with academic courses, because really a lot of our courses have been enrichment, and that's the fun stuff, those are the pictures, but to balance that, to get academic and enrichment courses across the day is really the goal. We did see fewer enrichment courses this year in the past as a whole, but as we spaced them out across our K-12 system, that really helped engage more students. And we'll talk about some of the new courses next, which were mainly at the high school. Every year, elementary teachers are creative and come with new courses. So typically we see anywhere from 5 to 6 brand new elementary middle courses, but you can see some of those simple machines, paper airplanes, cribbage, croquet. Those are our new courses that really cycle through, and you might actually see them in a different variation in a couple of years. Croquet 2.0 you might see in 2026, but what we do is we recycle those, and it builds that interest of kids continuing to come back. But our high school courses are where we started to offer some new opportunities for students, and we went outside of the framework of session A, B, and C, and some of these courses are just one-day academies. AP Human Geography Intro course was just a one-day academy where Mr. Brogelman brought students in, gave them an intro of what an AP course would look like, and then set them out on a path for the summer to do some work, and that helped prepare them for their first assessment when they came back to school. We also did a robotics boot camp where kids came in and did some robotics work to prepare for the season. One really cool opportunity was a drone pilot certification course where students were able to come in and do a course with Mr. Meyer and be certified to fly drones and compete with local people that have their own drones and are shooting pictures. So healthy competition for drone pilots these days. As well as some other sports-related courses with mini golf and baseball pitching. So next couple pages are just some photos from our elementary level. This is two pictures from our library. We do have a really popular open library course that many years ago was tied to computers, and we've really pulled back and have created some games and some STEM opportunities with 2 library teachers in our open library course, as well as just some other elementary courses. While golf was not a new course this year, we did have a partnership with Edgewater where they allowed our students to walk over for a 2-hour golf course, golf class where they were able to play a couple holes and use what I believe is the old driving range over at Edgewater. So we were able to use their facilities. So a huge shout out to Edgewater for partnering with us on that. And then the other really banner course that comes back every year, it's extremely popular, is our Safety Town. So you can see some of our kindergartners as well as those high school helpers. A couple other game classes. Walking around during summer school, students had never played Monopoly until summer school, so bringing back just the basics and simple things. So that's a picture of that, as well as, of course, the technology courses that are always popular. And then the last picture is that drone certification class with students learning right on Grafton, right out on the football field, on Kellner Field, to get certified to be drone pilots. Questions about any of the photos or any of the numbers?
Questions, comments? It's great to see the numbers going up. It's great to see the offerings changing and, obviously the new exciting things. So it's great for our student community.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
Information only. So thank you very much, Michael. H, student overnight trip requests.
Yes, we have 3 overnight trip requests we'd ask for board approval for. So we have HOSA for their every 15 minutes debrief event that will be happening at the Hampton Inn and Suites. Fran Grant is the coordinator. That's coming up on October 19th and 20th. You'll notice I do say we need a male faculty member, so they will have a male faculty member for the males, and Fran will be there with the females. Then we also have the boys varsity basketball team is attending a tournament on Friday, November 24th through November 25th in Washington, Illinois. It's the 2023 Kevin Brown Memorial Tournament of Champions. And then also the boys varsity basketball team has been invited to the 2024 Wisconsin Basketball Yearbook, Wisconsin versus Minnesota Border Battle, on Friday, January 19th through Saturday, January 20th in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. And we would ask for board approval for those 3 overnight trips.
Any questions? All right, we will look for a motion to approve the 3 overnight student trip requests.
So moved.
Any additional discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes.
On a side note, I hadn't thought through that, but looking at the every 15 minutes, that will occur before our next board meeting, and that will be an amazing event for our student body, for our community, remember we held it 4 years ago. It's really powerful about making good choices, and just the impact of making poor choices and how it can have on kids, families, all those pieces. Very emotional YouTube video. Still brings tears when I watch that. So it's really powerful, and really encourage the board to take part. And I believe we're still having an evening piece. Yep, so they're still planning. We had an evening night where they watched the video, so there'll be opportunities to be aware of that, or come and visit and see that. It's really a powerful event for families, older kids with in the middle school and up, I would say, but it's really a powerful event, and I want to put a plug in for that because we won't have a board meeting before that. But.
I believe the community event that you're discussing is going to be October 24th.
Okay, so it'll be after that.
Yes.
Yep, okay.
Tuesday.
But that event itself is occurring on I have the 19th and 20th coming up.
Yes.
Throughout the school, and that's why we're asking for the 19th and 20th. So it's for students that the person comes in and removes them from the classroom because they've passed through an unfortunate incident. And so having families experience that is pretty powerful. So put that out for the community as well. It's going to be, you'll see a lot of information about that in the next couple of weeks, but that's going to be a big event coming up in October.
All right. Next is which is the gift reports.
Yes, we have a number of gift reports we would ask for board approval for. So one is from KMC Stampings for GHS Manufacturing with Mike Dodge. They donated stainless steel sheet material in the value in the amount of $2,582.75. It's a restricted gift for our Grafton manufacturing classes. River Edge Nature Center is making a donation for the Boys and Girls Cross Country team for their volunteering at the River Edge special event. So a restricted gift for Boys and Girls Cross Country. Grafton Athletic Booster Club with Ben Brian as the Booster Club president is making a donation in the amount of $2,500 to Grafton High School Athletics for Huddle contributions. So it's a restricted gift for Huddle, the video replay program that they utilize for athletics. And then the Grafton Fire Department Association, the Grafton Fire Department of Karen Warner, as the contact person, is making a donation of $1,000 for every 15 minutes to Grafton High School. So a restricted gift for every 15 minutes. And then Kennedy Elementary School is in the midst of fundraising for their playground. And William Kaufman in the hopping level of $550. Van Horn Automotive Group in the amount of hopping of $500. Grafton Orthodontics hopping $500. Tina McLeod, Friends of Kenny, $250. Subra Raganathan, hopping $500. Milwaukee Ale House, Friends of Kenny, $400. And Lime Cantina hopping the amount of $960, as well as a donation from Blackhawk Fireworks, Matthew McElvey, however I say that, I apologize. 2023 Homecoming Fireworks display in the amount of $2,500 that was utilized for the homecoming game. So we'd ask for board approval for all of those events.
All right. Do we have approval for the presented gift reports?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any additional discussion? All right. All in favor of accepting the gift reports as presented, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that passes. And thank you for everyone for their support to our community and district, and we'll send a letter.
We will. On behalf of the board, we will send a letter thanking them.
Thank you. All right, next we have come to adjournment. The Board of Education will consider a motion to convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, Section 1, subsection C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibilities for purposes of considering teacher compensation and performance-related data of the superintendent. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Take a voice vote.
Yes.
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 And a yes, we are enclosed. Thank you.